Hi, welcome to the Corner of Knit and Tea, episode 47. I'm Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode's show notes will be, and where I put all the episode show notes. I also have an Etsy shop where I sell my handspun yarns, that is the Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn. Finally, we have a Ravelry group called the Corner of Knit and Tea, and if you haven't joined us over there, you really should. There's some fun conversation and some knit-alongs from time to time, and it's just a great group of people. So hi, it is Sunday, July 12th, and I have been having a good week and weekend. It's a quiet day here today. My husband went over to my mother-in-law's and was going to take our nephew ziplining this afternoon. So I am pretty much on my own today, and I have been using it to catch up on all sorts of things. I've been doing a bunch of laundry today. I spun for quite a while. I caught up on PBS's Poldark, which everyone has been raving about, and I have not been able to watch, so I streamed the first 3 episodes online. And of course, I have been spinning as fast as my little legs will treadle. And I will talk more about that in the spinning section, but that is what I have been up to. This week was kind of crazy and busy at work, and I spent almost every evening watching the tour and spinning. So I don't have much to show you in the way of knitting, although I have brought those projects in. And we are getting ready to take a little trip this week. So I have some stuff prepared for the car. That's part of the reason why I have been spinning so much, is because I'm trying to get some done before we go, and also so that I can do some stuff while we're gone. And so I don't know what's going to happen with the podcast next week. I'm going to try and record some segments while we are gone and hopefully get something up, but it may be a day late next week, just so you know. So that is kind of what's going on here. I'm hoping to hit a yoga class this afternoon, and then I need to pack because we are leaving Tuesday after work. So I will get started with the regular show. Today I decided to drink some hot tea. It's actually quite warm outside and we're in a heat advisory, but I find the air conditioning in the house to be a little bit cool, and so some days I do like a cup of hot tea. I decided to try, this is some Earl Grey from England, and the tea was actually grown in England. This was sent to me by Vinka Kent on Instagram. She and I did a swap a while back, and I have wanted to try it, so I pulled it out today. She sent this to me because it was one of the few teas she found that said the tea itself was grown in England. So it is an Earl Grey, and I just did a basic hot tea with just a smidge of sugar. I am drinking in my Loopy U mug that I purchased when I was there for the Spring Fling. Back when the Loopy U was in St. Louis, they did their little retreat in the spring. Now that they are in Colorado, they do it in the fall because the first spring the weather wasn't nice enough. So that is my Earl Grey grown in England and my Loopy U mug for some Earl Grey tea. Ooh, and that is quite good. It's got a little, it says it's got a little splash of citrus, which I really, really like. And it's got a little bit of history on the back, and I think it's just kind of cool. So thank you very much, Maury. This is a treat. So that is what I'm sipping today. And it is quite hot. I might have left it just a smidge too hot. I'm not going to do any more of that right this second because it will burn my tongue. So let's start in on the podcast. We will start with what I've been knitting. These projects I showed you last week, and I have made incremental progress. The first of these projects that I showed you was, let's start with this one and hopefully not knock everything else off. The first one that I showed you was my Love Wins project, and this was in honor of the June 26th decision that everyone is free to marry in the United States. And that was very exciting, and a whole bunch of us cast on. I am doing the Zigzag Scarf by Christy Cam, and I am doing it in 2 colors of Noro Silk Garden. One is one is 272, and that is blacks and greens and grays, and one is, I think, 87, and that is a rainbow. And I haven't gotten too much further on this, but I did get a few rows in the other night, so I thought I would just show you. This is a scarf where it is a free pattern. It is a scarf where every row is exactly the same, and you knit 2 colors, and they suggest that you knit 2 rows in one color and 2 rows in another color. And I want to say I was in the pink last time we talked, so there really has not been much change, but I am loving how this is working up, and got a few rows in on it and don't know how much more I'll get done this month because I'm mostly spinning and I have some other projects, but I am really enjoying this one, and I'm sort of employing the Knit Girls and Knit More ladies, which is if I put in even 1 stitch on it, I should go ahead and count it. So this is the Love Wins cowl. I'm also knitting it for the Rainbow cowl in Mina's group. That is the expat podcast. So knitting expat, sorry. And so I am working on that and enjoying it. I just haven't spent a lot of time knitting when I'm home this week. So that's why the projects haven't seen a ton of progress. So that is that one, and that is living in my Naughty Gnome Crafts Matryoshka bag, which I love. The second project that I showed you last week was a sock that I had cast on out of Knitterly Things Vesper, which is self-striping sock yarn in the Isla colorway. I had made a small pair of socks for Roxy and wanted to make another pair of socks for myself. To be honest, I haven't moved super far past where I was. However, I did rip everything out that I did last time. I decided that I wanted to use a solid color for the heels, toes, and cuffs. So I actually ripped out the sock as I had it knit last week, and I recast on so that I could do a black toe, and then I got through basically two repeats of just into the 3rd repeat of the stripes, and I am getting close to being able to place the heel. I am using the Vanilla Bean sock pattern by Emily O'Grady. That is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is for the slipping of the stitches in between the colors. Otherwise, I am just knitting my standard sock with the rounded toe. Then I'm going to do a fish lips kiss heel, and then on the top I will do the slip stitches all the way around, and we will go ahead and knit those up, and then just a little bit of a black cuff with a 2x2 rib. So what I did was I worked on these yesterday. We had our Dungeons and Dragons game, and I needed something that would be fairly simple and easy to work on. So I ripped it out and restarted and got all the way almost to the heel. So I'm super excited about those. My real push to get this done is that I would love to have a picture of at least one of these finished to take a picture with the little sock that I made for Roxy using the same pattern. I don't know, that just tickles me because I want us to have matching socks. I'm sure that I won't have the pair done before I go see her because that is in 2 weeks, but I think I can probably finish the first sock. And so this will be coming with me on my travels. Hopefully sock knitting will get some good progress. However, one of the things that I talked to you about last week was my Camp Loopy project. And I will move into that next, and that is a little bit of a story. Oh, and if I didn't say, this is in a Chicken Soup Designs bag that my sister got for me. It is teapots, and I absolutely love it. So back to the Loopy You project. I have explained what Camp Loopy is in a few past episodes, so you can go check those out. I won't re-explain this time. I will say last week I showed you the tank top that I was working on, and I was close to finished with the back and was getting ready to pick up for the front. And I finished the back not long after I podcasted, and I went to pick up the front and realized that I had twisted the provisional cast on, and so I was knitting a Mobius tank top. Needless to say, I was not pleased. I believe what I said on Twitter was I have thrown it in the corner and it can come out when it apologizes for what it has done. I was a little frustrated because I want to spend all my time spinning right now, but I also wanted to get a project done for Camp Loopy. So I decided rather than rip it out and start it again, which would be the fourth time, that I was going to take a little bit of a break and I was going to pick something else. I had another project with yarn from Loopy that I had sort of mentally slated for August's project, so I went ahead and picked it up now. The pattern is Melancholy by Lori Woodward. It is a paid for pattern and it is a really pretty striping shawl. I printed this out in black and white, but actually it is blacks and grays, so you're not missing much. It wasn't ever in color. That is the shawl. And I had a beautiful kit that I had purchased from the Loopy U. I've only seen them in stock there once. It's from Frabjous Fibers, and it's called the Cheshire Cat colorway series. Actually, this says Wonderland Yarns, but I think it's from, yes, it's hand-dyed by Frabjous Fibers. And it's called Wonderland Yarns Pigment of Imagination Cheshire Cat. And the deal is, I have something else stuck in here, but I will just show you the label. That is the label. And the colorway is Down the Rabbit Hole, Too Much Pepper, number 21. And the deal is that it starts at a very light gray and goes through several shades of gray to black. So I decided to pair that with, I had some Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Antler colorway, which is kind of a white cream natural color. And I started to knit the shawl, and I actually got decently far into it this week. This is the product of my lunchtimes and knit night. So as you can see, I am now into the third of 5 colorways. I am following the pattern, except for the fact that I am not following the way the colors state. So it is a semicircular shawl. It's kind of hard to show you on the needles because it's all bunched up, and a bunch of different stripe work, and I don't want to give too much else away because it is a paid for pattern. But like I said, I am partway into the third color. I have 2 more colors, and then what I haven't decided, I will show you the 2 other colors. Please excuse the crinkling. I kind of forgot that I was gonna show you this. The 2 other colors are the dark colors, like the charcoal gray and the black, which will go down at the bottom here. And then I kind of just got this idea about whether or not I wanted to put a little bit of a red stripe down at the bottom. This is some leftover Tosh Merino Light TML in the Tart colorway. And so my thought was that I might go down to the black and then at the end do a red stripe, but I haven't completely decided about that. I am probably a little, well, okay. The pattern only calls for 700 yards, and I have about 1,000 yards of yarn, and I think that I'm going to adapt it to just keep going because I would like to use up this gradient set. I don't really want to have a ton left over. So I will just kind of extend the pattern as I see fit. And so I am probably a little less than halfway through my yarn. Because like I said, I'm on the 3rd color, and then I have the 4th, 5th, and possibly a 6th. So I would say I'm less than halfway through, but pretty good progress for the fact that I cast this on Monday. So I have made some decent progress, and this will also be a something that I'm going to concentrate on because I want to get this done by the end of the month, and I don't think it should be too much of a problem. It's mostly garter and stockinette, and it's pretty soothing, and so I will be taking this and my sock in the car along with some spinning. So that is the 3rd project on the needles, and this is the only one I expect you'll see major movement on before the next podcast because I need to keep trucking, and this one is living in my homespun house bag by Molly with the llamas or alpacas, and I just loved this one and snatched it right up when she put it up. So those are my 3 knitting projects. I'm hoping maybe I will finish them by the end of the month, but I really don't know. That's not like a huge goal because, like I said, I am totally concentrating on spinning. So I'm going to take a sip of tea and hope that it's cool enough. Oh, much better. And then I'm going to start on spinning, which is what I've mostly been doing this week. Last week I showed you well, I don't remember where I left off. I know last week the braid that I showed you was Southern Cross fiber in South African superfine wool, and I told you that was the softest blend I have ever spun. It feels like little kittens. It's amazing. And the colorway was Deja Vu, which was purples and periwinkles and tan. And I finished that one up. I got great yardage for it. Oops, sorry. You just have to see. Here we go. And it is purples and periwinkles and lavenders and a little bit of tan, and there's a little bit of mauve in there, and it is just really, really pretty. I wouldn't necessarily say it's pastels, but I really think that it is softer colors. This one I came out with about 340 yards of a sport weight. It is squishy, it is soft, it is just really, really lovely, and it is up in the shop. It can be yours if you are so inclined. So that is Southern Cross Fibers Deja Vu. I think I called it Shadows because that's what it reminded me of, like at dusk maybe, when everything turns various shades of purple. So that is that one done. This is my first complete spin of the tour, and now I will talk to you about why I don't have any more complete spins. If you will remember, I showed you some Hello Yarn fiber. It was in merino and black Tussa silk, and it was in blues and greens and a little bit of yellow or like a kind of ochre color. And I said I was going to spin for a sweater. So I have been busy. I've got 1, 2, and 3 bobbins of fiber. I have been working on these all of this week, and I topped some of them off today. I have probably a little, right around 5 ounces per bobbin. So this is 15 ounces of fiber, and I have 5 more ounces to spin onto a 4th bobbin. And it is my fervent hope and wish that I will finish that tonight and tomorrow night, because what I would like to do is wind the singles off these bobbins into center pull balls, which is how I normally ply, and I would like to take them with me, and I am going to take my mini spinner, and I am hoping to ply all of these up while we were on vacation. It is a pretty big goal. It's 20 ounces of fiber, so it's going to be a lot of 2-ply. My guess is when I'm done, I'm going to have anywhere between about 1,300 and 1,600 yards, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I tried to spin this slightly thicker than some of my other spins because the pattern that I want to do is closer to a worsted weight. Not that I can't swatch and figure out the gauge. It's really, really hard to see how beautiful these are. They glow. They've got aquas, greens, sages, just all different kinds of color. It's just really not showing up very well. But this is what I've been working on this week. So I have gotten a ton done, and I am super, 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 super thrilled. And like I said, I just want to finish the final bobbin so that I can take the mini spinner and ply up some really big skeins. So that is what has occupied me for Tour de France week 1, and I am very pleased with my progress and just need a few more hours to finish the other one. So I decided to pull out a braid or 2 to come with me just in case I finish plying, because heaven forbid I should be without spinning while we're away. And since we are taking, we're driving to where we're going and back, and it's going to be about a 7 or 8 hour car ride, I am hoping to use my mini spinner battery and ply in the car. which would be amazing. So I'll probably do some knitting and plying in the car. Anyway, as I said, I would never, ever, ever want to run out of knitting and fiber. And it's not like we're not going to have activities where we're going. I'm bringing stuff to do probably in the evenings when we're done with the day's activities. And because I'm a little bit crazy and I'm a little bit afraid of running out of things to do. So the 2 braids that I selected for this week, and I do not know whether these will be spun up by the next time I talk to you. They might not. If I finish the sweater spins, I will be pretty happy. I would love to get one of these braids done, but we'll just see. The first braid is Southern Cross fiber. It is Finn, which is a breed of sheep, and it is called Horace the Cheese. This is a prize that I won from David of Southern Cross Fiber for the, I actually won it for something else in his group, but this is one of the fiber prizes that he designed for the Mega Sow, which was organized around Sir Terry Pratchett's books, the Discworld books, and Horace the Cheese is a character in the book. And this is russets and golds and greens and some sage and teal. And it is just a very, very, very pretty braid. Finn is not super rough, but it's also not super soft. I think it's slightly longer stapled. I think it would be great for a pair of socks. So I am going to try and spin this fairly thin, hoping for sport or heavy fingering for socks. Then I decided, since all of my spins have thus far been dark, that I needed some color. So I went back and pulled out another Southern Cross fiber braid. This was a club colorway not super long ago, and it is called Dragon Fruit. And it is pinks and reds and greens, and then it's almost got a little bit of browns in there. But I thought this was fun, and there are some parts that are almost like, let me show you this side, a little bit of almost electric green. And I'm hoping that that will really brighten this up some. This is Bond, which is a kind of merino and silk. So it is super soft and lustrous, and it will probably have a little bit of a shine afterwards. And I have to tell you, I'm really kind of excited to spin this one because this is going to be just fun color. Not that these bobbins aren't color, they're absolutely beautiful, and watching the shades of blues and greens is great, but it's not super bright. So I'm ready for something a little different. So those are the 2 braids that I will take with me, and I have been watching the tour and spinning along, and actually I kind of geeked out last night. I posted a photo of my spinning fiber yesterday, and on Instagram, one of the riders in the Tour de Fleece actually liked the photo on Instagram, and I have no idea. It looks to be a genuine account because it's pictures of his family and pictures on the tour. But I don't know whether that's him or whether that's someone else, either PR or family or friend kind of running that account right now. But I had a total fangirl moment, and it was just really kind of exciting. So that is my episode for you today. I know it's been super heavy on the spinning and I've been talking fast, but I wanted to cover a lot, and I've just had a really, really good week craft-wise. I got some really nice emails this week, which will lead to some things that I will talk about in the future that were very, very exciting for me. And so I've really just got a lot going on, and all of it seems pretty positive right now. So it's just been a really good week. So thank you for spending this little bit of time with me and listening to me go on and on and on about spinning. I so appreciate that you spend this time with me, because I know there are so many podcasters and great podcasts to choose from, and so many ways that you have to spend your time. So I just wanted you to know that I am grateful that you tuned in with me. So I wish you a wonderful week. As I said, I'm not sure exactly what my schedule will be in the next week or so. I am hoping to record some little snippets as we go so that I can kind of edit them together into a little bit of a travel episode. Probably won't be exactly complete because I won't have everything with me when we go, but I will hopefully get to show you a little bit about where we're going and what we're doing. So I'll say until next time, as I always do, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you soon. Bye.